Some of the most challenging battles we face are the ones that no one else can see, the struggles inside our own minds, the quiet wars against doubt, fear, frustration, and sometimes even despair. We all face moments where life feels heavy, like the weight of the world is pushing down on us. But what if I told you that you have the power to overcome these inner battles, no matter how fierce they feel? What if you could build a mindset so strong, so resilient, that no matter what life throws your way, you could stand firm? This is exactly what Stoicism teaches us, the art of not just surviving but thriving, no matter the chaos or hardship around us. It's about transforming our struggles into stepping stones, about using every challenge to strengthen the mind and spirit. Stoic philosophers knew that true power doesn't come from external circumstances, but from mastering the thoughts that shape our experience. And today, we're going to dive deep into how you can build that kind of unshakable mindset, one thought at a time. If you're ready to change the way you think, embrace your challenges as opportunities, and build a mindset that can handle anything life throws at you, please subscribe. This is about taking a step toward personal growth, deeper self-awareness, and a life rooted in purpose. Let's get started. Before we dive into how to build an unshakable mindset, let's pause for a moment and reflect on one simple but powerful truth. Your mind shapes your reality. It's easy to think that the world around us, the people in our lives, or the circumstances we find ourselves in are the things that truly define our experiences. But in reality, it's not those external factors that have the final say. It's how we perceive them. How we interpret the world around us is what determines how we feel, how we react, and ultimately, the quality of our lives. The Stoics understood this deeply, especially Marcus Aurelius, who often reminded himself that we are disturbed not by events, but by our interpretations of those events. Take a moment and think back to the last time you felt defeated. It could have been a failure at work, a missed opportunity, or even a personal setback. Now, ask yourself, was it really the event itself that broke you, or was it your perception of it? Often, it's not the event that has the power to drag us down, but the way we interpret it. That shift in perception is the key to unlocking the power within us to face challenges with strength and clarity. If we can change how we look at difficulties, we can change how we respond to them, and in doing so, begin to build that mental fortress that will protect us from the storms life throws our way. It's crucial to recognize that everything we experience is filtered through the lens of our thoughts. If our thoughts are clouded with negativity or self-doubt, the world will appear dark and overwhelming. But if we train ourselves to see challenges as opportunities for growth, we begin to shift the balance of power. Instead of feeling like a victim of our circumstances, we realize that we have the power to choose how we react, no matter what life presents. This is the essence of what the Stoics taught. Our power lies not in controlling what happens to us, but in controlling how we choose to interpret and respond to those events. Think about it. If you're in a tough situation, you can either choose to see it as an insurmountable obstacle or as a stepping stone for personal growth. One mindset leads to feelings of helplessness, while the other opens up the possibility for learning and improvement. This is where the real power lies. By shifting your perspective, you begin to see opportunities where others see only problems. This is the first step toward building an unshakable mindset. When you start changing how you view the world, you start changing your relationship with it. Instead of seeing yourself as a victim of circumstances, you begin to see yourself as someone capable of overcoming anything simply by adjusting how you perceive the situation. Now, this isn't to say that changing your perspective is easy. It takes practice, awareness, and commitment. But the first step is simply recognizing that your thoughts shape your reality. This awareness alone is empowering. It gives you the ability to step outside of your emotional reactions and take a more measured, thoughtful approach to life's challenges. When you feel frustration, anger, or sadness rising, instead of letting these emotions control you, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, what am I really reacting to? Is it the event itself, or how I'm choosing to see it? This simple question can completely change your approach to any situation. In fact, the more we practice this shift in perception, the more natural it becomes. Over time, our minds start to default to a mindset that sees challenges as opportunities rather than obstacles. We begin to recognize that we don't need external circumstances to change in order to feel peace, contentment, or success. Instead, we realize that we can cultivate those feelings internally by changing how we respond to life's inevitable difficulties. This is the heart of building a strong, resilient mindset, recognizing that we are in control of how we interpret the world and, therefore, how we experience it. When you start viewing the world through this lens, everything changes. The next time you face a challenge, instead of feeling overwhelmed, you can ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I grow through this experience? With this shift, you begin to unlock your true potential. You no longer see obstacles as threats, but as stepping stones that help you evolve into a stronger, wiser version of yourself. This is the foundation of building an unshakable mindset, the recognition that you have the power to control your thoughts, and in doing so, control your reality. So, the first step in building a mindset that can withstand anything life throws your way is simple. Recognize the power of your mind. Acknowledge that how you perceive the world shapes your reality, and that your thoughts are the lens through which you experience everything. With this awareness, you can begin to change your mindset, transforming challenges into opportunities and setbacks into lessons. This shift in perception is the first step on the path to mental resilience. It's not about what happens to you, it's about how you choose to respond. And that choice is always yours. Rejection, it stings, doesn't it? That moment when you put yourself out there only to face the cold, hard truth that someone doesn't want what you have to offer. It's uncomfortable, it's painful, and it's tempting to see it as a personal failure. But what if I told you that rejection doesn't have to be a defeat? What if instead it could be an invitation to grow? What if rejection was, in fact, one of the most powerful tools you have to build a stronger mindset? When you begin to see rejection through this lens, it stops being something that crushes you. Instead, it becomes a tool to strengthen your mindset. It's like lifting weights at the gym. At first, it's hard. You struggle, and the weight feels unbearable. But over time, your muscles adapt, grow stronger, and what once felt heavy becomes lighter. Rejection works the same way. The more you face it, the stronger your resilience becomes. The more you push through it, the more you realize that no matter how many no's you receive, they don't define you. In fact, they're shaping you into someone capable of handling much bigger challenges in the future. Think about the greatest minds in history, the innovators, the creators, the leaders. They didn't get to where they are by avoiding rejection. They faced it head-on, time and time again. Thomas Edison, for instance, failed thousands of times before inventing the light bulb, and yet he didn't see his failures as reasons to give up. Instead, he saw them as lessons, as opportunities to learn and grow. "I have not failed," Edison famously said. "I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." That mindset, that refusal to be defined by rejection, is what ultimately led him to success. And it's not just inventors and entrepreneurs who face rejection. We all do, in different forms. Whether it's a job application that gets rejected, a relationship that falls apart, or a dream that seems out of reach, rejection is part of the human experience. The question is, how will you respond? Will you let it break you, or will you use it as fuel to become stronger? The Stoics believed that true strength doesn't come from avoiding hardship. It comes from embracing it, from learning how to stand firm in the face of it. In fact, the more you face rejection, the more you realize that it's not rejection that defines you. It's your response to it. When you approach rejection with a Stoic mindset, it becomes clear that each no is just another step in the journey. It's not a failure, it's a redirection. It's an opportunity to adjust your approach, to refine your vision, and to try again with more wisdom and more clarity. And when you approach rejection with this mindset, you'll find that it no longer has the power to hold you back. It doesn't matter how many times you're told no. It doesn't matter how many doors close in your face. What matters is how you respond. Will you allow it to define you, or will you take the lesson, grow from it, and keep moving forward? Because, as the Stoics teach us, the only thing we can control is our reaction. And if we can learn to control that, then no setback, no rejection, no failure will ever be able to stop us. So, the next time you face rejection, remember this. It's not the rejection itself that matters, it's what you do with it. Embrace it. Use it as a tool for growth. Let it strengthen your resilience, sharpen your courage, and deepen your resolve. And most importantly, remember that the greatest minds throughout history weren't built on success alone. They were forged in the fires of rejection. So, take the challenge, face it head-on, and let it make you stronger. Resilience is one of those qualities we all admire in others, but how often do we stop to think about how we can develop it ourselves? The truth is, resilience isn't something that magically appears during tough times. It's something that's built through the very challenges we face. The most resilient people aren't those who avoid hardship, but those who embrace it, learn from it, and use it to become stronger. Think about it. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to prove your mental strength, to show yourself that you can not only survive tough situations, but thrive because of them. Now take a moment and think back to a time in your life when you felt truly overwhelmed by a problem. Maybe it was something at work, in your personal life, or a goal you were struggling to achieve. How did you handle it? Did you feel crushed under the weight of it? The Stoics, those ancient philosophers who mastered the art of resilience, would ask you to do something very simple in that moment. Change how you see the problem. They didn't believe in avoiding difficulty or pretending that pain doesn't exist. Instead, they taught us to change our perspective, to look at every challenge as an opportunity for growth. Rather than asking, "Why is this happening to me?" the Stoics would suggest you ask, "What can I learn from this?" This shift in mindset is key to building true resilience. It's not about pretending that the pain or difficulty isn't real. It's about recognizing that while you can't always control what happens to you, you can control how you respond. When you start seeing each challenge as a stepping stone rather than an obstacle, you begin to build the mental strength to face even greater challenges. In fact, the Stoics would argue that it's precisely through facing adversity that we develop our most valuable virtues: wisdom, courage, and perseverance. Let's pause for a moment. Imagine you're going through a rough patch. A relationship falls apart, a job slips through your fingers, or you fail at something you care about deeply. It's natural to feel down or discouraged. But now, instead of letting those feelings define you, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? In every failure or setback, there's something to be gained. The Stoics believed that even when life throws us off track, we can choose to learn from the experience, adapt, and move forward with more wisdom. This is the essence of resilience, the ability to recover, to keep going, and to emerge stronger than before. Carl Jung also spoke to the power of embracing adversity. He famously said, "I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become." This is the heart of resilience. It's about choosing how to respond to the challenges life throws at us. Jung understood that our circumstances do not define us. Our reactions to those circumstances do. In other words, we have the power to shape our future by how we deal with our present struggles. When we embrace life's challenges with this mindset, we don't just survive. We grow, evolve, and become more of who we were meant to be. The Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, also believed that it's our response to pain and adversity that defines our character. He wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This means that obstacles are not just things that stand in our way, they are opportunities to practice virtue. Each time you encounter a challenge, you have the chance to act with wisdom, patience, and fortitude. These virtues are not developed by avoiding difficulty, they are developed by facing it head-on, by choosing how you respond when life becomes difficult. It's easy to look at someone who's resilient and think that they must have some secret formula for success, that they've somehow managed to avoid life's hardships. But the truth is, resilient people aren't those who avoid difficulties. They're the ones who've learned to embrace them. They know that life's challenges are inevitable, and they've made a conscious choice to approach each one as an opportunity to grow stronger, wiser, and more capable. In that sense, resilience isn't a personality trait that some people are born with. It's a skill that can be cultivated through practice and perseverance. Resilience isn't just about bouncing back from adversity. It's about learning to thrive in the face of it. The more you embrace life's challenges, the more you develop the mental toughness to face even greater challenges down the road. And remember, it's not about pretending that the difficulties aren't real. It's about choosing how to respond to them. Life won't always be easy. You'll face setbacks, failures, and heartaches. But if you choose to see each of these moments as opportunities to grow, you'll find that your resilience becomes unshakable. In the end, resilience is not just about enduring hardships, it's about transforming them. It's about finding strength in adversity and using that strength to propel yourself forward. The Stoics believed that everything, every obstacle, every setback, every hardship is a chance for us to build character. When you change your mindset and embrace life's challenges with this perspective, you'll discover that resilience isn't something you have to strive for. It's something that becomes a natural part of who you are. So the next time life presents a challenge, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? And let that question guide you toward greater resilience and growth. Here's a fundamental truth that we often forget. You can't control everything. There will always be things outside your control, other people's actions, the uncertainty of the future, the random events that can shake your world when you least expect it. These things are a part of life, and no matter how hard you try, you won't be able to stop them from happening. But here's the catch. There's one thing you always have control over, no matter the situation: how you react. It's a powerful realization when you truly understand it. Epictetus famously said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react that matters." That quote holds so much weight. Think about it. How many times have you been in a difficult situation, something out of your control, and felt completely powerless? The truth is, in those moments, the only real power you have is your reaction. You can't change the situation, but you can choose how to respond to it. That's where your strength lies. When you shift your focus to what you can control, your actions, your responses, your thoughts, you start to build mental armor. You begin to strengthen the part of you that's untouchable, the part of you that can weather any storm life throws your way. Imagine for a moment, when something happens that shakes your world, instead of letting it spiral into a wave of anxiety or frustration, you pause, you take a breath, you choose your response. You recognize that while you can't control the external world, you can always control how you engage with it. That's the foundation of resilience. It's in those moments of choice where your mental fortitude is truly built. This approach doesn't mean you're turning a blind eye to life's difficulties. It doesn't mean that you're pretending nothing is wrong. Instead, it's about recognizing that life will throw curveballs, unexpected challenges, unfair situations, loss, and that while we can't change the facts, we can control how we meet them. It's about choosing to be the calm in the storm rather than being overwhelmed by it. The Stoics believed that we should focus on the things we can change and let go of what we can't. They knew that anxiety often comes from trying to control the uncontrollable. For example, you can't control how people treat you, but you can control how you treat them. You can't control what the future holds, but you can control how you prepare for it. When you recognize the limits of your control, you free yourself from unnecessary worry, and in that space, you find peace. This practice of focusing on what you can control isn't just about mental strength, it's about emotional freedom. When we stop stressing about everything outside our control, we make room for more focus on what matters. This doesn't mean we ignore our emotions, but we learn not to let them rule us. We learn that while it's okay to feel frustrated or sad or angry, those emotions don't have to dictate our responses. This awareness brings clarity, and clarity brings power. The key to living this way is cultivating awareness. When life throws challenges your way, stop and ask yourself, what can I control in this moment? It could be something as simple as choosing to stay calm when someone cuts you off in traffic. Or maybe it's taking responsibility for your actions when things don't go as planned. What matters is that no matter the circumstance, you always have the ability to choose how you respond. This practice isn't always easy. It takes time and it takes work. But the more you practice it, the more natural it becomes. The more you focus on what you can control, the more you begin to see that you have the strength to handle any situation, no matter how difficult. In those moments of tension, when everything inside you is screaming to react, practice self-control. Instead of letting your emotions control your actions, take a step back, pause for a moment. In that brief silence, ask yourself, what would my best self do in this moment? It's a simple question, but it can be a game changer. It's about building a habit of reflection, where you don't just react impulsively, but choose your response with intention. This practice, although challenging, allows you to face any situation with a sense of calmness and clarity, rather than being swept away by your emotions. Epictetus put it simply, "We are not disturbed by what happens to us, but by our thoughts about what happens." This is the essence of self-control. It's not about what the world throws at us, but about how we frame those experiences. By developing the ability to pause and reflect before reacting, you shift from being a victim of circumstances to being the master of your own responses. This might seem like a small thing, but over time, it builds a resilience that allows you to handle life's challenges with grace and poise. Self-control is often misunderstood as merely resisting temptations or holding back desires. But in the Stoic sense, it's much deeper than that. It's about recognizing that our emotions, though natural, don't have to dictate our actions. It's about learning to separate ourselves from the flood of thoughts and feelings that arise in challenging situations. In doing so, we gain the space to act according to our values, not just our impulses. This kind of self-mastery is what allows us to stay focused on what truly matters, even when the world around us is chaotic. We all know that life doesn't always go according to plan. Things don't always work out the way we expect, and often people's actions or circumstances can throw us off course. But when you practice self-control, you don't let those external events control your inner peace. Instead, you choose how to engage with the world around you. Whether it's dealing with a frustrating colleague, navigating a stressful situation, or simply managing your own doubts and fears, self-control allows you to maintain your center. It gives you the clarity to respond thoughtfully, not just reactively. This ability to choose your response is something that can be developed over time. It's a muscle that grows stronger with practice. Every time you find yourself on the verge of reacting emotionally, take a step back. In that moment, ask yourself, what is the best way to respond? It doesn't mean suppressing your feelings. It means acknowledging them without letting them take over your actions. For example, when anger arises, you can choose to express yourself calmly instead of letting the anger dictate your words. When frustration strikes, you can choose to take a deep breath and refocus, rather than letting it control your behavior. By building this habit of self-control, you create a buffer between your emotions and your actions. This buffer gives you the space to respond with wisdom, patience, and clarity, rather than getting lost in the heat of the moment. The Stoics believed that by mastering our emotions, we can achieve a kind of freedom from being ruled by our impulses, and freedom to act in accordance with our highest ideals. Self-control isn't just about individual challenges, it's about how you engage with the world at large. It's about how you handle disappointments, how you navigate setbacks, and how you stay true to your values when the world tries to pull you in different directions. In a world that often prioritizes instant gratification and quick fixes, practicing self-control is a radical act of self-discipline. It's about rejecting the notion that we need to react to every impulse, every desire, every fleeting emotion. Instead, it's about choosing to act with intention, to align our actions with our purpose, and to live in a way that reflects our best selves. The more you practice this kind of self-control, the more you realize that you're not at the mercy of your emotions or the circumstances around you. You begin to understand that you have the power to decide how you show up in the world, no matter what's happening around you. This is the true power of self-control. It gives you the ability to shape your experience, to choose your response, and to live in alignment with your values. So, next time you're faced with a situation that triggers a strong reaction, remember this: pause, reflect, and choose. Ask yourself what your best self would do in that moment, and use that as your guide. Over time, this simple practice will build a resilience that no external situation can shake. It will give you the strength to face any challenge with calm, clarity, and unwavering purpose. This is the power of self-control, the ability to steer your own ship, no matter how rough the seas may get. When life feels like it's spinning out of control, it's easy to get caught up in the small frustrations of the moment. Maybe it's the endless emails, the traffic, or the unexpected curveballs that seem to derail your day. But here's the thing: these are just blips on the radar. They're temporary. Yet, in the chaos of daily life, it's easy to lose sight of the bigger picture, to focus so heavily on the immediate that you forget about the long term. The Stoics, however, had a different perspective. They believed that the key to maintaining peace of mind is to zoom out and focus on the larger journey. The Stoics taught us that life isn't about winning the small battles, it's about the long-term journey. And what does this mean for you? It means that when you feel overwhelmed, when the short-term struggles seem insurmountable, you need to shift your focus to the bigger picture. Life's long-term goals are like a compass. They help you navigate through the stormy days, providing you with a clear direction, even when the winds are strong. You don't let the noise of the present moment drown out the vision of where you're headed. Marcus Aurelius often reflected on the brevity of life and the importance of focusing on what truly matters. He once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." It's in those moments of struggle when you can practice this wisdom. Instead of getting caught in the whirlwind of the current moment, remember that this is just one step on your journey. The frustration you feel today is a temporary part of a much bigger process. By focusing on your long-term goals, you keep your mind anchored in a place of clarity and purpose, no matter how tough things get. This is where the power of perspective comes into play. When you view the world through the lens of long-term goals, you are no longer reacting impulsively to every small setback. Instead, you're taking a step back and asking yourself, what can I learn from this? It's about making decisions based on where you want to be in the future, not just on the immediate circumstances. This mindset shift is incredibly powerful because it allows you to move through life with intention rather than being swept away by the current. The key to staying on track with long-term goals is to break them down into manageable steps. It's easy to look at the big picture and feel overwhelmed by the enormity of it all. But when you focus on what you can do today to move closer to that vision, it makes the journey less daunting. Each small action you take is like a brick in the foundation of your future. And over time, those small steps accumulate into something far greater than you could have imagined. This is how consistency builds success. When you start seeing your daily actions as part of a larger purpose, you begin to approach life with more clarity and calm. Instead of getting bogged down by the little inconveniences, you realize that they don't define your journey. What defines your journey is your commitment to your goals, your resilience in the face of obstacles, and your ability to stay focused on the bigger picture. In those moments when things aren't going according to plan, remind yourself that setbacks are simply part of the process. They are not the end. They are the beginning of a new chapter. As you continue on your journey, it's important to remember that this is your life and you are the one steering the ship. The Stoics believed in personal responsibility, and when you take responsibility for your own path, you empower yourself to create the life you want. Every decision you make, no matter how small, moves you closer to the person you aspire to become. So, the next time you feel overwhelmed by the present moment, remember to step back and focus on the long-term vision. Keep your eyes on the destination and trust that every small step is getting you closer to where you want to be. By shifting your focus to the long term, you gain control over your journey. The distractions of the present will always be there, but when you have a clear vision of where you're going, they become less significant. Keep your eyes on the prize and let that vision guide you through the stormy days. Your long-term goals are not just dreams, they are the roadmaps that lead you to your greatest potential. With patience, persistence, and a clear sense of direction, you can navigate life's challenges with purpose and resilience. Keep going and remember, the journey is just as important as the destination. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's the decision to move forward despite it. It's easy to think of courage as something reserved for heroes or grand moments in life. But the Stoics taught us that true courage is found not in the absence of fear, but in how we respond to it. Fear is a natural part of being human. It's something we all feel, whether we're about to take on a big challenge, face a difficult conversation, or even just step into the unknown. But courage isn't about not feeling afraid. It's about feeling that fear and choosing to act anyway. The Stoics understood this deeply. They believed that every time you face your fear and push through it, you become stronger. It's not about avoiding fear or pretending it doesn't exist. It's about recognizing it and still choosing to move forward. Think about it for a moment. What are you afraid of right now? It could be something as simple as speaking up in a meeting, confronting someone about an issue, or taking a leap in your career. These fears can feel heavy, overwhelming even, but it's important to remember that they don't define us. It's not the fear itself that holds power over us. It's our response to it. When we choose to face our fears, to walk into that discomfort with courage, we take back the control that fear tries to rob from us. And as the Stoics would remind us, fear is not something to run away from. It's an opportunity to grow. Courage allows us to face those difficult moments with strength. It's the inner resolve to push forward, even when the outcome is uncertain, even when it's easier to stay where we are, in our comfort zones. Every time you face a fear, no matter how small, you build resilience. Each time you choose courage, you fortify your mental strength, preparing yourself for the next challenge. This is a core principle of Stoic philosophy. It's easy to be consumed by fear, especially when the stakes feel high. Maybe you're scared of failing or afraid of what others will think. These fears can create a paralyzing hesitation that holds you back. But what if you shifted your perspective on fear itself? Instead of seeing it as a roadblock, imagine it as a signal, an indicator that you're on the verge of something meaningful, something that could push you forward in life. When you feel fear, instead of avoiding it, ask yourself, what is this fear telling me? What can I learn from it? Fear has a funny way of revealing the things that matter most to us. It's a sign that you're challenging yourself, stepping outside of what's familiar and striving for growth. That's where true courage lies. The more we face fear, the more we realize that it's not as terrifying as we initially believed. We give it power by avoiding it, by letting it dictate our choices. But when we stand in the face of fear, we see that it doesn't have to control us. Instead, we control it. This doesn't mean fear will disappear. It will always be there in some form. But with courage, we learn to walk with it, rather than be overwhelmed by it. And with each step, we grow more capable of handling whatever comes next. That's how resilience is built, not by avoiding challenges, but by facing them head-on and refusing to back down. In many ways, courage is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it becomes. When you're constantly avoiding discomfort, you're not exercising your courage. But when you push through fear, when you choose to act despite your hesitation, you're strengthening your resilience. Over time, this practice builds mental toughness. The next time a challenge arises, you won't hesitate as much. You'll know from experience that you've faced fears before and emerged stronger, and you can do it again. This is what the Stoics understood. True strength is built in the struggle, not in avoiding it. So ask yourself again, what's holding you back? What's the fear that's keeping you from moving forward? It's time to face it, not as a threat, but as an opportunity. The more you confront your fears, the more you'll discover that you're capable of far more than you imagined. Courage is not about being fearless, it's about choosing to act despite fear. It's about developing the inner strength to keep moving forward, no matter what life throws your way. Every challenge, every moment of fear is a chance to build that strength, to fortify your resilience, and to show yourself just how much you are capable of. Every day offers a chance to strengthen your mental muscles. It starts with the habits you create and the routines you follow. One of the best ways to train your mind is through Stoic reflection. Take a moment in the morning to pause, breathe, and reflect on the day ahead. What challenges might you face? How will you respond to them? This practice isn't just about preparing for the good days, it's about equipping yourself for the hard ones. The Stoics didn't shy away from challenges, they embraced them. They understood that adversity is where true growth happens. By acknowledging potential difficulties before they arise, you allow yourself to meet them with a sense of calm and clarity rather than fear or anxiety. It's about creating a mindset where you see obstacles as opportunities for growth, not as roadblocks that stop you in your tracks. Mindfulness is another tool that can help you strengthen your mental resilience. Being mindful means being aware of your thoughts, emotions, and reactions in the moment, without judgment. It means observing your mind instead of letting it control you. For instance, when something stressful happens, instead of reacting immediately, take a moment to breathe and observe. What are you feeling? Why are you feeling this way? What's driving your thoughts and reactions? By pausing and reflecting, you gain control over your emotional responses, allowing you to choose how you react rather than being swept away by impulses. This practice takes time and discipline, but over time, it will help you develop a deeper understanding of yourself, your triggers, and how to manage them effectively. Journaling is another powerful practice for mental training. Writing down your thoughts and emotions is a great way to release mental tension and gain clarity. It gives you the space to explore your inner world and reflect on your experiences. This practice doesn't have to be long or complicated. It could be as simple as jotting down how you're feeling at the start or end of each day. What challenges did you face? How did you respond? What could you have done differently? The Stoics often wrote about their thoughts in their journals, and in doing so, they gained wisdom, perspective, and a greater understanding of themselves. This habit of daily reflection helps you build mental strength because it forces you to confront your thoughts and feelings rather than avoid them. Engaging with content that strengthens your mind is also an important part of mental training. Just like you wouldn't go to the gym and only lift weights that are too light, you shouldn't only consume content that reinforces your existing beliefs or comforts you. Instead, seek out ideas that challenge you, that make you think differently, and that push you to grow. This could be reading philosophy, listening to podcasts about personal development, or engaging in thoughtful discussions with others. Every bit of knowledge you consume is like adding weight to your mental barbell, making you stronger, more resilient, and more capable of navigating life's challenges. Mental fitness, just like physical fitness, doesn't happen overnight. It's something that takes consistent effort, day in and day out. But just as you start to see results from your physical workouts after a few weeks of dedication, you will start to see the results of your mental training. At first, the changes might be small. You might not notice it right away, but as time goes on, you'll begin to see a stronger, more resilient mind emerge. You'll find that you handle stress better, you're less reactive, and you're able to face challenges with greater ease. This is the power of consistent mental training. Over time, you'll build the strength to handle whatever life throws your way. Just like physical fitness, mental fitness is a lifelong journey. There will always be room to grow and improve, and every day presents a new opportunity to strengthen your mind. But the key is to show up consistently and put in the work. If you want to build resilience, you have to commit to daily mental training, whether it's through Stoic reflection, mindfulness, journaling, or consuming content that pushes you to think and grow. By making these practices part of your routine, you'll develop the mental toughness to not only survive life's challenges, but to thrive in the face of them. The journey won't be easy, but it will be worth it. With every day you invest in your mental fitness, you'll become a stronger, more resilient version of yourself. Perfectionism is something we all grapple with, often without even realizing how much it holds us back. We aim for flawless execution, thinking that the only way to succeed is to get everything right. But here's the truth. Perfectionism is a trap. It keeps you stuck in a constant loop of self-doubt and procrastination, never allowing you to move forward. The Stoics, with their focus on living in alignment with nature, understood this deeply. They believed that perfection was an illusion, a false idea that only paralyzes us. What they valued instead was progress, not perfection. Progress. When you look at life through the lens of perfectionism, everything becomes about getting it right, being flawless, and avoiding mistakes at all costs. But the reality is, mistakes are essential for growth. They are not failures, they are lessons. In other words, the challenges, the imperfections, the setbacks, they're not the things that stop us. They're the very things that teach us and push us forward. So when we make a mistake, we shouldn't fall into despair or frustration. Instead, we should embrace it as part of the process, knowing it's helping us build resilience and wisdom. It's easy to see imperfection as something to avoid, but what if we reframe it? What if we saw imperfection not as something to fear, but as a stepping stone to something greater? Every time you choose to take action, despite not having everything perfect, you're reinforcing the idea that progress is what matters. With each step, however small, you're moving closer to the person you want to become. Perfection, on the other hand, can paralyze you, leaving you stuck in an endless cycle of second-guessing and overthinking. So, how do we let go of perfectionism? First, we need to start accepting that good enough is good enough. This doesn't mean lowering your standards or settling for mediocrity. It's about recognizing that waiting for the perfect conditions to act will only keep you from making progress. Perfection is unattainable, and the sooner we let go of this impossible standard, the sooner we can start achieving real progress. It's a mindset shift. Instead of focusing on flawless execution, we focus on consistent improvement. The key is not to be perfect, but to be better than you were yesterday. Take action, even if you're not 100% ready. Start that project, have that conversation, make that decision. Do it imperfectly, but do it. In fact, doing something imperfectly is often better than not doing anything at all. The more we wait for everything to fall into place, the more we delay the very things that can help us grow. Progress doesn't come from sitting back and waiting for the ideal moment. It comes from showing up, making mistakes, and learning from them. Another essential part of this journey is letting go of the need for approval. Perfectionism often stems from a deep desire to be validated by others, to be seen as flawless in their eyes. But true growth comes from within. When you stop seeking approval and start embracing your own progress, the pressure to be perfect fades away. You begin to take pride in your efforts, not in how others perceive them. When you shift your focus inward, your self-worth no longer depends on external validation. It's about being proud of the progress you've made, regardless of how small it seems. Embracing imperfection is liberating. It frees you from the constant stress of trying to meet unattainable standards. It allows you to take risks, to experiment, to fail and learn. And through this process, you build not only resilience, but also confidence. When you stop expecting perfection, you begin to trust yourself more. You start believing that you are capable of handling whatever comes your way, even if things don't go as planned. The next time you catch yourself falling into the trap of perfectionism, pause. Ask yourself, what is the next small step I can take toward my goal? Don't get bogged down by the fear of not being perfect. Instead, focus on making steady progress. Remember, each step forward, no matter how imperfect, is a victory. And as you continue to take those steps, you'll realize that perfection was never the goal. The goal was always growth, learning, and becoming the best version of yourself. So, let go of the need to be perfect. Instead, embrace progress and celebrate every imperfect step along the way. Perfectionism is not a path to success. It's a path to self-sabotage. By letting go of the need to be perfect, you open the door to true progress. It's time to stop waiting for everything to be just right and start making moves, imperfectly but boldly. Let that be your mantra. Good enough is good enough. When we think about legacy, most of us immediately picture the things we leave behind, the wealth we've accumulated, the positions we've held, or the material possessions we've acquired. We look at these external achievements as markers of success. But what if I told you that true legacy isn't built on what you have, but on who you become? The Stoics understood that a meaningful life is not measured by outward success, but by the virtues we embody every single day. Imagine for a moment that your life was a story. What would you want the last chapter to say? What kind of impact would you have made on the world? These aren't just hypothetical questions. They are fundamental to how we live day to day. The choices we make, the way we treat others, the principles we live by, these are the things that create lasting influence. The Stoics believed that the essence of life lay in the pursuit of virtue. Wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline, these were their pillars. They didn't focus on fleeting accomplishments or external validation. Instead, they focused on cultivating inner strength and moral integrity. In their eyes, true success came from living in alignment with these virtues, no matter the circumstances. Think about the last time you faced a difficult decision. What did you rely on to guide you? Was it your fear of failure, your desire for approval, or did you lean into your virtues, your sense of right and wrong, your ability to stand firm despite challenges? The Stoics would say that your true strength lies in your ability to choose what's right, regardless of external pressure. That's what makes your legacy matter. It's not about how much you've achieved in terms of wealth or status. It's about how you've influenced those around you by the way you lived and the character you displayed. One of the most powerful lessons the Stoics taught was that we can't control the world around us. We can't control what other people think or how they act. We can't predict the future or change the past. But we can control our actions, our responses, and our commitment to living virtuously. This is where true freedom lies. When you make choices based on your principles, whether it's in your work, your relationships, or your personal growth, you are living in accordance with your values, and that is the foundation of a meaningful legacy. Carl Jung put it this way: the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. By becoming the person you want to be, by living with integrity and purpose, you are already building the legacy that will last far beyond your time. Now, consider your daily life. What kind of decisions are you making that reflect your values? Are you choosing what's easy, or are you choosing what's right? Each action, no matter how small, contributes to the person you are becoming and the legacy you will leave. When you choose courage over fear, justice over convenience, and wisdom over impulse, you are living a life that speaks to your core principles. This is what the Stoics believed was the true measure of success. It's not about external accolades or achievements. It's about the internal peace and strength that comes from living virtuously. Living virtuously doesn't mean you'll never face hardship or struggle. In fact, the Stoics believed that life's difficulties were opportunities to practice and strengthen our virtues. It's through adversity that we develop resilience, courage, and wisdom. When we choose to act with integrity, even when it's hard, we are shaping our legacy in ways that transcend the moment. Every challenge we face is an opportunity to reaffirm our commitment to virtue and leave a lasting mark on the world. As we wrap up, remember this: the legacy you build isn't just about the things you achieve, it's about the person you become. Every choice, every action, no matter how small, leaves an imprint. So, live with purpose, live with virtue, and let your life be the legacy you want to leave behind. If this resonated with you, don't stop here. There's always more to learn and grow from. Check out the suggested video on the screen and continue your journey toward a life of meaning and wisdom. Thank you for being part of Stoic Journal. Keep reflecting, keep growing, and remember, the best way to predict your future is to create it. There's a moment in every life where everything shifts, not because the world changes, but because you change. It's the moment you realize that waiting for the perfect conditions, the perfect time, or the perfect opportunity is a lie you've been telling yourself. You've been burning precious time, convincing yourself that you're not ready yet, that things need to be aligned first. But let me ask you, how much longer are you willing to wait? Every second you put off your growth is another second lost to self-doubt, fear, and regret. The truth burns, doesn't it? You've been waiting for life to hand you the answers, the solutions, the perfect moment to act. But here's the reality. Transformation doesn't wait for the right moment to show up. It's a choice. It's about choosing to take action right now in the face of uncertainty and discomfort. The Stoics knew this. They understood that our response to life's challenges defines us, not the challenges themselves. You can control your reactions, your mindset, and your actions, and through those, you shape your future. If you're ready to stop waiting and start building the life you deserve, please subscribe. It's like taking a step toward living with purpose, wisdom, and true freedom. Let's dive in and uncover the power you already hold. 1. Take responsibility for your life. You are the author of your own story. How often do we hear that, but how often do we truly believe it? It's easy to get caught up in the blame game, pointing fingers at the circumstances, the people around us, or the events that seem to control our lives. Maybe it's your job that isn't fulfilling, a past mistake that keeps haunting you, or the lack of opportunities that hold you back. But what if I told you that the real power doesn't lie in those things? What if I told you the real power is in how you respond to them? This is where the Stoics have a lesson for us. They taught that life is unpredictable and often out of our hands, but how we react to those challenges is entirely within our control. The moment you realize that, everything begins to shift. When you take responsibility for your life, you take back control. No more waiting for someone else to fix it for you. No more waiting for the perfect moment to begin. There is no perfect moment. That's a lie we've been told for too long. The perfect time to make a change is right now. Take responsibility for the choices you've made, for where you are, and most importantly, for where you're going. The Stoics teach us that our response to adversity defines us, not the adversity itself. Taking responsibility doesn't mean ignoring the difficulties life throws at us. It doesn't mean pretending things are always easy or that we have all the answers. It simply means embracing the truth. You have control over how you approach what happens to you. Your mindset, your actions, and your responses to life's obstacles are yours to decide. Instead of waiting for everything to be perfect, ask yourself, what can I do right now to improve this situation? Don't wait for someone to save you. Be your own hero. The journey toward transformation starts with this understanding. You're the one who will ultimately shape your life. You're the one who can start right now to build the life you want. This isn't a call to perfection, but to intention. Don't wait for a sign or a big shift in the world around you. The sign is right here. It's in the way you choose to act, how you choose to think, and how you choose to respond to what life hands you. And remember, you don't have to have all the answers today. The process of taking responsibility is a gradual one, but it starts with that first decision to stop waiting and start living with purpose. You might be sitting there thinking, But what if I've made mistakes? What if I've already lost time? Here's the thing. The Stoics didn't view mistakes as failures. They viewed them as lessons. And that's something important to remember. No mistake is truly wasted if we learn from it. Take ownership of your past, not as something that defines you, but as something that teaches you. Every wrong turn, every setback is part of your story. But what matters most is the next step you take. The question isn't how far you've fallen, but how quickly you can rise again. Once you take responsibility for your life, you start to realize something profound. You have the potential to turn things around at any moment. Don't let the fear of failure paralyze you. Don't let the shame of past mistakes prevent you from moving forward. Every day is an opportunity to rewrite your story. You can start right now. The simple truth is that no one else is coming to save you, and that's the best news you can hear. You are the one who holds the key to change. Taking responsibility for your life also means embracing the uncomfortable truths. It's about being brutally honest with yourself. Are you where you want to be? Are the choices you're making today truly helping you become the person you want to be? It's tempting to place blame on others or on external factors, but this mindset only keeps you stuck. It robs you of your power. The moment you embrace responsibility, you stop making excuses and start taking control. Life doesn't have to be perfect to move forward. You don't need everything to be aligned to start, but you do need to take that first step. 2. Be mindful of your thoughts and emotions. How often do you pause to check in with yourself? If you're like most of us, probably not enough. We rush through life, constantly reacting to what's happening around us, whether it's a stressful email, a traffic jam, or the endless demands of daily responsibilities. But what if I told you that the key to breaking out of this cycle of reaction lies in something as simple yet powerful as mindfulness? Mindfulness isn't just a trendy buzzword. It's a practice, a tool that helps you become aware of your thoughts, emotions, and actions in a way that transforms how you experience life. We live in a world that moves at 1,000,000 miles an hour, and often we don't even realize we're caught in the whirlwind until we're exhausted or burnt out. The truth is, we're so caught up in reacting to life's demands that we forget to reflect. But here's where mindfulness comes in. It's the practice of noticing, of simply becoming aware of what's going on inside your mind and body without judgment. When was the last time you really took a moment to stop and reflect on what you were feeling and why? Chances are, it's been a while, and I get it. It's easy to get swept up in the flow. But that's exactly why mindfulness is so crucial. It's the pause button we all need. Mindfulness doesn't mean you won't feel frustration, anger, or sadness. It's not about denying your feelings or pretending everything's okay when it's not. Rather, mindfulness gives you the ability to observe your emotions without being consumed by them. Instead of automatically reacting to the next stressor, you take a step back, observe how you're feeling, and make a conscious decision on how you want to move forward. This is how you break the cycle of automatic responses that keep you stuck in old patterns. It's about creating space between the stimulus, the external event, and your reaction to it. And that space? That's where your growth happens. It's easy to get trapped in habitual patterns of thinking. You wake up, you rush through your day, and before you know it, you're reacting to the world around you without ever pausing to think about why you're doing what you're doing. But when you practice mindfulness, you begin to notice the patterns. Maybe you snap at people more than you'd like, or you feel a sense of dread about your day before it's even begun. Mindfulness lets you become aware of these thoughts and feelings, not to judge them, but to understand them. What are these patterns trying to tell you? Why do you feel a certain way at certain times? The more you practice this awareness, the more you start to break free from those unconscious habits and choose a different, more intentional response. This practice of mindfulness can be applied to almost any situation in life. It doesn't have to be reserved for big moments like traffic jams or stressful meetings. It can be as simple as checking in with yourself after a difficult conversation or before you head into an important decision. Think of mindfulness as a constant companion, a tool you carry with you that helps you make better, more informed decisions every single day. It's like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. And soon you'll find that reacting out of impulse, frustration, or stress becomes less and less of an automatic response. Instead, you'll be making more thoughtful, deliberate choices that align with the person you want to be. 3. Take action no matter what. One of the most powerful lessons from Stoicism is the importance of action. It's easy to get caught up in the idea of change, to imagine all the ways your life could be different. You might read every self-help book, watch endless motivational videos, and plan out every step. But here's the hard truth. Nothing will change until you act. Thinking about change is not the same as actually making it happen. It's easy to put things off, isn't it? You tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow, or I'll do it once I have more time, or I just need to get everything perfect first. But guess what? Tomorrow never comes. You'll always find a reason to delay, to wait for the conditions to be just right. The Stoics taught us something essential. Life doesn't wait for the perfect moment. In fact, the perfect moment often never shows up. If you want to see change, you have to make it happen right now, with the resources and time you have available. It doesn't have to be huge, but it has to be now. This is where taking action becomes so critical. You don't need to have all the answers. You don't need everything to be lined up perfectly. You just need to take that first step. It might be starting that workout you've been thinking about, writing the first line of that book, or making that call you've been avoiding. Whatever it is, the first step is always the hardest, but once you take it, momentum starts to build. Small actions may seem insignificant at first, but over time, they compound into real, lasting change. Each step you take adds up, building your confidence and creating momentum that pushes you forward. It's all too easy to stay in the planning phase, isn't it? We convince ourselves that thinking things through is enough. But here's a hard truth. If we stay in our heads too long, we never move forward. I get it. You want to be sure of every step, you want to be ready, and you don't want to fail. But here's the reality. Failure is not the enemy. Procrastination is. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." This simple truth reminds us that action should always be aligned with our values and goals. If you believe in something, if you know it's the right thing to do, then act on it now. The beauty of action is that it creates clarity. Sometimes we get stuck in analysis paralysis, trying to plan every detail and predict every outcome. But life doesn't work like that. Action is the antidote to confusion. By taking that first step, you begin to see things more clearly. The road becomes more defined, and your fears of making the wrong move slowly fade away. It's only by doing that we truly learn what works, what doesn't, and where we need to adjust. Action gives you the feedback you need to keep moving forward. So, how do you start? Right now, in this moment. Stop waiting for the stars to align or for some future moment of clarity. What can you do today? Maybe it's as simple as setting a small goal or taking one small action that will get the ball rolling. You don't need to make giant leaps. Just make sure you're moving forward. Every step, no matter how small, is progress. We've all been there. The feeling of being stuck, of waiting for the perfect moment. But what if that moment never comes? What if the only moment you need is this one? Don't let the idea of perfection stop you. Perfection is an illusion. Action, however, is real, and it's what drives progress. Your future is shaped by what you do today, not by what you plan to do tomorrow. By embracing action, you align with the Stoic idea that the only thing within your control is your response to the world. You can't control the obstacles, the challenges, or the setbacks that come your way, but you can always control how you act in the face of them. Taking action isn't about waiting for everything to fall into place. It's about making things happen, regardless of the uncertainty. This is where true transformation begins, not in the waiting, but in the doing. 4. Set clear, achievable goals. Without clear goals, you're like a ship without a rudder, drifting aimlessly wherever the wind takes you. You might have good intentions, a desire to change, or the ambition to succeed, but without a destination in mind, you're bound to go in circles. It's easy to get lost in the hustle of life, focusing on everything and nothing at the same time. But if you truly want to make progress, you need to get specific. Vague desires like, "I want to be healthier" or "I want to be more successful" sound good, but they don't give you a clear direction. They leave too much room for uncertainty and can easily be pushed aside when life gets busy. Clear, specific goals are the compass you need to navigate your life. Think about it. How many times have you told yourself you're going to work on something? Whether it's getting fit, learning a new skill, or improving your career, and then found that life got in the way. Without a clear, actionable goal, you're setting yourself up for failure. It's like saying you want to be a better runner, but never committing to a specific distance, time, or routine. You're relying on motivation, and motivation can fade quickly. The key to consistent progress is having goals that are concrete and measurable. When you set a specific target, you create a path forward, something you can actually track and see progress in. Having clear goals doesn't just help you track your progress, it also builds confidence. Every time you hit a goal, you get a little boost, a small win that propels you forward. And that momentum is everything. It's the difference between feeling stuck and feeling like you're making progress. When you set goals that are in line with your values, you not only create a roadmap for success, but you also reinforce your own sense of purpose. You begin to realize that each small action you take brings you one step closer to the person you want to be. The beauty of clear goals is that they give you something tangible to focus on. They eliminate the overwhelm of uncertainty. Instead of feeling like you're drifting through life, you have a set direction. And while life will always throw challenges your way, having a goal to strive for helps you stay grounded. You know why you're pushing through the obstacles. You know what's on the other side, and that knowledge keeps you going even when things get tough. You don't have to wait for the perfect time to set these goals either. It's easy to think you need to wait for the stars to align, but the truth is, the perfect moment may never come. The Stoics understood this well. They taught us that action is what matters, not waiting for ideal circumstances. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Don't wait for external conditions to be perfect. If you want change, create it now through action. Set your goals today, no matter how small they seem, and begin moving toward them with purpose. Breaking down big goals into smaller, more manageable steps is also crucial. Often we think in terms of grand ambitions, but without breaking them down, they can feel overwhelming. When you focus on the smaller steps, those steps become milestones that you can celebrate along the way. Maybe your big goal is to run a marathon, but instead of fixating on that big finish line, start with the goal of running a mile without stopping. Once you hit that milestone, you build the confidence to tackle the next step, and so on. Each step gets you closer to your ultimate goal, And with each victory, no matter how small, you gain the motivation to keep going. Setting clear goals also helps you stay accountable to yourself. When you don't have a clear target, it's easy to let distractions take over and put things off. But when you commit to specific, measurable goals, you've made a promise to yourself, and that promise matters. Every day you show up and take action toward those goals, you reinforce the belief in yourself and your ability to achieve what you set out to do. And when the inevitable obstacles appear, as they always do, your clear goals give you the motivation to push through. 5. Cultivate resilience through adversity. Life isn't going to hand you a smooth path. There will be setbacks, failures, and challenges along the way. We all face them, whether it's a difficult decision at work, personal struggles, or moments when everything seems to be falling apart. The question is not whether challenges will come, but how you respond when they do. It's tempting to avoid adversity, to hope that things will just get easier, but the truth is, avoiding challenges only weakens us. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. They taught us that obstacles aren't roadblocks. They're opportunities to build strength, resilience, and wisdom. When life throws you a curveball, don't shrink back. Instead, lean into it. It's easy to get caught in a mindset that says, "Why me? This isn't fair." But that mindset only keeps you stuck. Every challenge you face is a chance to learn more about yourself, to grow in ways you never expected. It's hard, it's uncomfortable, and it often feels like everything is against you, but that's where your growth lies. The Stoics believed that in every difficulty, there's an opportunity to practice virtue. They didn't see hardship as something to fear, but something to embrace, because in that hardship, there's the potential for real transformation. As Epictetus said, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. The ability to face adversity and learn from it is what builds your character. Think of the challenges you've faced in the past. At the time, they probably felt overwhelming, but looking back, don't you see how they shaped you? Maybe you learned something about yourself, maybe you built new strengths, or maybe you found a resilience you didn't know you had. The more you face adversity head-on, the more capable you become at handling whatever life throws your way. Every time you push through a tough moment, it becomes easier the next time. It's like lifting weights at the gym. The more you lift, the stronger you get. And just like building physical strength, building emotional and mental resilience takes time, but it's so worth the effort. It's not about pretending adversity doesn't hurt, or that it doesn't take a toll. It does. But what if you could see every setback as a chance to grow stronger? What if instead of running from challenges, you faced them with courage, knowing that each one is part of the process that makes you more resilient? Resilience doesn't come from avoiding pain. It comes from facing it, from growing through it, and from refusing to be defeated by it. Life will throw its punches, but how you respond will define the kind of person you become. This is the heart of Stoic wisdom, embracing the things you cannot change and learning to change yourself in the process. Resilience is about learning how to bend without breaking. It's about finding your inner strength even in the face of difficulty, but it's also about being patient with yourself. Resilience isn't something you build overnight. It's something you develop over time through the accumulation of experiences, some good, some bad. Each challenge you face is an opportunity to practice resilience, and each time you come through it, you're not just surviving, you're evolving. You're becoming more capable of handling the next challenge, no matter how big or small. Think about how differently you might view obstacles if you started seeing them as stepping stones rather than setbacks. Every obstacle is a chance to prove to yourself that you can handle it. Whether it's a personal loss, a failure at work, or an unexpected twist in your life, You get to choose how you react. That's where your power lies. The more you embrace this mindset, the more you'll begin to see each challenge as part of your growth story. Instead of running from adversity, you'll walk right into it with the understanding that it's a key part of your transformation. The Stoics knew that life would never be free of challenges, and they accepted this truth. But they didn't just accept adversity passively. They saw it as an essential part of the human experience. The more we experience difficulty, the stronger we become. The more we face adversity, the more we learn about our own capacity to grow. And as you face the challenges in your life, remember that your resilience is built not in the moments of ease, but in those moments when you choose to rise above the difficulty. Your ability to stand strong, to keep going even when things seem impossible, will define the future you create. 6. Focus on what you can control. In a world that's constantly changing, where there's always something new to worry about, it's easy to feel like you're drowning in the chaos. The news is full of negativity, there's uncertainty everywhere, and other people's actions can seem like they're completely out of your hands. It's no surprise we end up feeling overwhelmed. But what if I told you that most of that stress, anxiety, and frustration comes from focusing on things you have no control over? The truth is, most of the things we worry about every day are completely outside our control. The weather, the economy, the behavior of others, none of these are things we can change. Yet we often waste a lot of energy trying to fix or change them. But here's where the Stoics offer us a powerful lesson. Focus only on what you can control. The Stoics teach us that we can't control the world around us, but we can always control our response to it. Think about that for a moment. While we can't change the people around us or the circumstances we find ourselves in, we always have a choice in how we respond. And that choice, how we respond to life's challenges, holds the key to reducing stress and regaining a sense of control. It's incredibly freeing when you realize that you don't need to carry the weight of everything you can't change. Instead, you can focus on what's within your power, your own thoughts, actions, and reactions. Whenever you find yourself feeling anxious or stressed, pause for a second and ask yourself, what can I do right now to improve this situation? Most of the time, the answer isn't about fixing the world or other people. It's about shifting your energy and focus to what you can do right now. It could be something as simple as taking a few deep breaths to calm your mind, setting a small, actionable goal for the day, or choosing to let go of something that's out of your hands. By consciously deciding to focus on what you can control, you immediately shift your mindset from a place of helplessness to one of empowerment. This shift in focus isn't just about ignoring what's going wrong around you. It's about recognizing what is within your power and acting on it. For example, when faced with a difficult situation at work or in a personal relationship, you can't control the other person's behavior, but you can control your response. You can choose how you communicate, how you handle stress, and whether or not you let the situation dictate your emotions. This simple change in mindset can dramatically reduce the stress and frustration you feel. Instead of letting external events control your emotions, you start to regain control over your own state of mind. The beauty of this is that it creates space for you to be present in the moment. When we focus on what we can control, we stop dwelling on things that haven't happened yet, or things that are beyond our reach. We become more intentional in our actions, rather than reacting mindlessly to everything that comes our way. In those moments of stress or anxiety, instead of spiraling, you can pause, refocus, and ask yourself what action you can take in that moment to move forward. This is where the wisdom of Epictetus becomes so relevant. He once said, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them. The power lies in our ability to choose our reactions. So often we feel victimized by the world around us, as if we have no control over what happens to us. But in truth, the only thing we truly control is how we decide to approach each moment. Every time you face a challenge, you have the power to choose how you want to respond to it. You can choose peace over panic, clarity over confusion, and action over inaction. This principle also helps you to stop getting caught in the cycle of worry. Worrying about things outside of your control does nothing but drain your energy. It's like running in place. It might feel productive at first, but ultimately, you're not getting anywhere. The moment you recognize that worrying about things you can't change is a waste of energy, you can start redirecting that energy toward what you can do. And that's where real progress begins. It's also important to recognize that focusing on what you can control doesn't mean ignoring the difficulties or challenges that come your way. It means choosing how you engage with them. Life is always going to throw curveballs. It's inevitable. But the Stoics remind us that how we face those challenges is entirely up to us. We can either let them overwhelm us, or we can use them as opportunities to grow, learn, and become stronger. When you make this shift, your whole perspective on life begins to change. You stop feeling like everything is against you and start seeing yourself as a participant in the flow of life, where your actions matter. Instead of waiting for perfect conditions or ideal circumstances, you start taking responsibility for your responses. You become proactive rather than reactive, and that's where real power lies. You stop being a passenger in your own life, and instead, you grab the wheel and steer yourself toward the outcomes you want. 7. Build consistency, not motivation. Motivation is a fleeting thing. One moment you're fired up, ready to take on the world, and the next you're struggling to get out of bed. It's like a wave that crashes over you, only to disappear just as quickly. We've all been there, feeling energized one day, only to lose that spark the next. But here's the truth. Motivation isn't the key to long-term success. It's consistency that carries you through the ups and downs. If you rely on motivation alone, you'll always be waiting for the right moment to act. But here's the catch. That perfect moment may never come. So, what do you do instead? You create routines that keep you on track, no matter how you feel. Building consistency is about showing up, even when you don't feel like it. It's about doing the work day in and day out, no matter how inspired or motivated you feel. Think about it. You don't have to be in the mood to brush your teeth or take a shower. You just do it because it's part of your routine. And that's how you should treat the things that matter most in your life. Whether it's morning journaling, exercise, or meditation, small daily habits will add up over time. The key isn't doing everything perfectly every day. It's about showing up consistently, even when you don't feel like it. Over time, those small actions compound and turn into massive results. This is where Stoic wisdom comes in. Marcus Aurelius had a simple but profound piece of advice. Waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be. Be one. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment to be your best self. It's about taking consistent action every single day to embody the values and habits you want to cultivate. The Stoics didn't wait for motivation or external circumstances to align. They took responsibility for their actions, no matter how they felt. And that's the power of consistency. When you focus on showing up each day, even when you're not feeling your best, you build resilience. You start to realize that you can make progress even on the days when motivation is nowhere to be found. And that's what makes the difference. Motivation can't be relied on because it's inconsistent, but consistency, that's what will carry you through. It's like putting in a little effort every day. Eventually, that effort adds up. Small, daily actions, no matter how insignificant they seem at the time, lead to big results. Over time, you'll look back and realize how far you've come simply because you stuck with it. Consistency is also about being patient with yourself. We live in a world that glorifies instant results, but true success takes time. It's easy to want everything right now, but the reality is that most meaningful change happens gradually. This is where the Stoics really had it figured out. They didn't rush the process. They trusted that consistent, disciplined effort would lead to progress. Instead of being fixated on results, they focused on showing up, doing the work, and letting the results come in their own time. That's the mindset that creates lasting change. The beauty of building consistency is that it becomes a habit, a part of who you are. You don't have to think twice about it. It's no longer about pushing yourself to be motivated. It's about sticking to your routines because they're now part of your daily life. Whether it's writing a page of a book every day or hitting the gym 3 times a week, consistency creates a rhythm in your life. And that rhythm is what keeps you moving forward, even when your motivation is low. It's like training a muscle. The more you work at it, the stronger it becomes, and the less effort it takes to keep going. One of the best things about consistency is that it doesn't require perfection. You don't need to be at your best every day. Some days will be better than others, and that's okay. What matters is that you keep showing up. Even if you can't give 100% one day, giving 50% or 75% still counts. The key is to keep moving forward, no matter what. Life won't always go according to plan, and you'll face setbacks along the way. But if you focus on showing up and staying consistent, you'll be able to navigate those challenges more easily. Consistency is the foundation that keeps you grounded when life throws curveballs. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Every time you stick to your routine, even on the days when it feels tough, you build momentum. And that momentum is what keeps you moving forward. As the Stoics remind us, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. When you face obstacles, don't let them stop you. Instead, let them fuel your determination to keep going. Consistency isn't about avoiding difficulties, it's about pushing through them, learning from them, and continuing to grow. 8. Embrace self-compassion. Life has a funny way of throwing curveballs, doesn't it? We set out with the best intentions, trying to make progress, to grow, but sometimes we fall short. We make mistakes, we slip up, and sometimes it feels like we're back at square one. In those moments, it's easy to turn on ourselves, to criticize ourselves for not being better, stronger, or more disciplined. But here's the thing. Stoicism doesn't mean beating yourself up when you fall short. It means being kind to yourself, especially when you fail. Embracing self-compassion is not about excusing your mistakes, but about treating yourself with the same kindness and patience you'd offer to a friend. We all know the feeling of messing up. Maybe you missed a goal, broke a habit, or let yourself down in some way. It's easy to fall into self-blame, to spiral into shame and guilt, thinking that you're not good enough. But what if you could stop that cycle? What if instead of punishing yourself for your shortcomings, you could simply acknowledge them, learn from them, and move on? That's where self-compassion comes in. It's about recognizing that you're human, that everyone makes mistakes, and that growth is a journey, not a destination. As Carl Jung wisely said, "I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become." This is a reminder that your past mistakes don't define you. It's how you respond to them that matters. The truth is, we're often our own worst critics. We wouldn't dream of speaking to a friend the way we speak to ourselves when we mess up. We'd never tell someone we care about that they're a failure just because they made a mistake. But for some reason, we're quick to judge ourselves, to tell ourselves we're not enough. Stoicism teaches us that we should show ourselves the same compassion we'd show a friend in times of struggle. When you slip up or fail, don't let the shame take over. Instead, pause and ask yourself, what can I learn from this? Failure isn't the end of the road, it's part of the process. Every misstep is an opportunity to grow, to understand yourself better, and to improve. The key is to approach your mistakes with curiosity, not judgment. What lesson can you take away from this? What's something you can do differently next time? When you embrace self-compassion, you're not excusing your mistakes. You're acknowledging that growth is a messy, imperfect process. The Stoics understood that. They didn't expect perfection, nor did they beat themselves up when things went wrong. They simply accepted life's imperfections and used them as stepping stones. They knew that failure is not defeat, it's feedback, and feedback is essential for growth. Instead of getting caught in shame, ask yourself how you can use your experiences to build a better version of yourself. Every failure, every struggle, is a chance to learn more about your strengths, weaknesses, and the areas where you can improve. It's easy to get frustrated with yourself, to feel like you're not making progress, or that you're stuck in a cycle of failure. But self-compassion helps you break free from that. It shifts your focus from what you've done wrong to what you can do better. It frees you from the weight of guilt and allows you to move forward with a clearer, more positive mindset. When you treat yourself with kindness, you're more likely to stay motivated, more likely to get back up after a fall. It's not about ignoring your mistakes. It's about giving yourself permission to learn from them without dragging yourself down in the process. We all have moments where we're not at our best. Whether it's letting a bad habit creep back in, not meeting a goal, or simply feeling down, it's okay. What matters is how you treat yourself in those moments. If you can show yourself compassion and patience, you give yourself the grace to grow and improve. You stop fighting against yourself and start working with yourself. The journey of self-improvement is not about achieving perfection. It's about embracing the process with all its ups and downs. Self-compassion doesn't mean letting yourself off the hook. It doesn't mean making excuses or avoiding responsibility. It means recognizing that you're human, that you're doing your best, and that growth takes time. When you fail, don't let shame define you. Instead, use it as fuel to learn and move forward. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to keep going. Every time you treat yourself with compassion, you reinforce the belief that you are worthy of growth and change. And with each step, you get closer to becoming the person you're meant to be. 9. Practice gratitude daily. Gratitude. It's one of the simplest yet most powerful tools we have to transform our mindset. Think about it. How often do you focus on what's wrong in your life? It's easy to get caught up in the things we don't have, the things that feel missing or out of reach. But when we spend all our time looking at what's lacking, we miss the abundance that's already around us. In fact, we often overlook the simple things that make our lives richer and more meaningful. The Stoics knew this well. They practiced gratitude as a way to remind themselves of what was going well, even when things weren't perfect. And that practice made all the difference in how they faced the challenges of life. Gratitude doesn't just change how you feel, it shifts your entire perspective. It's easy to get bogged down by what's not working, but when you take a moment to reflect on what you do have, everything changes. Maybe it's a supportive friend, a job that challenges you in ways you've never experienced, or even the small joys that seem insignificant but add up to a life full of richness. Gratitude shifts your focus from what's wrong to what's right, and that small shift can have a huge impact on your mental and emotional well-being. As Marcus Aurelius once said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." And gratitude is the quickest way to elevate the quality of your thoughts. The Stoics weren't blind to life's challenges. They didn't ignore the hard times or pretend that everything was perfect. But they understood that by focusing on gratitude, they could reframe their mindset and see the good, even in difficult situations. It wasn't about pretending that bad things didn't happen. It was about acknowledging them without letting them steal your peace of mind. And that's something we can all learn from. It's easy to get caught up in negativity and let it consume us. But gratitude pulls us out of that spiral. It reminds us that, no matter how tough things may seem, there is always something to appreciate. Taking time each day to reflect on what you're grateful for doesn't require a big, elaborate ritual. It's as simple as taking a moment before bed, or when you wake up in the morning to think about the things that bring you joy. Maybe it's the warmth of your bed, a comforting meal, or the kindness of someone you love. Gratitude doesn't have to be grand or life-changing. It can be the small moments that bring you peace and contentment. And when you make gratitude a habit, it becomes easier to see the good in every situation. Even when life is tough, gratitude reminds you that there are still blessings to be found. In our busy lives, we often forget to pause and appreciate what we have. We're always looking ahead, chasing after the next goal, the next achievement, the next thing that will make us happy. But what if the key to a more fulfilling life was simply looking around and acknowledging what's already good? Gratitude isn't just about being thankful for big things. It's about appreciating the small things that often go unnoticed. A warm cup of coffee, a text message from a friend, the sunshine on your face. These are the moments that make up a rich and meaningful life. And when we take the time to acknowledge them, we start to see life through a different lens. There's another important aspect of gratitude that we often overlook. It's not just about what we receive, but also about how we give. When you practice gratitude, you become more attuned to the needs of others and the ways you can give back. Gratitude isn't just about feeling thankful. It's about expressing that thankfulness by showing up for the people in your life. When you're grateful for the support of a friend, you're more likely to be there for them in return. When you appreciate the beauty of life, you become more inclined to share that beauty with others. Gratitude creates a cycle of positivity that impacts not just you, but everyone around you. So how can you make gratitude a daily practice? It starts with intention. Take a moment each day to stop, breathe, and think about what's going well in your life. It doesn't have to be complicated. Write it down in a journal, say it out loud, or simply reflect on it in silence. The act of pausing and acknowledging what you're grateful for has a profound effect on your mindset. It's easy to get caught up in the rush of life, but when you make time for gratitude, you start to slow down and truly appreciate the present moment. And that shift in perspective is what makes all the difference. When you make gratitude a habit, it becomes second nature. You'll start to notice the good more often, and in doing so, you'll naturally shift your focus from what's wrong to what's right. The Stoics knew this was essential to living a fulfilling life. In fact, they practiced gratitude every day as a way of grounding themselves in the present moment. They didn't just reflect on the big things, they appreciated the small moments that made life meaningful. And this is a practice we can all adopt. As Carl Jung once said, your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakes. Gratitude isn't just about looking outside at what's going right. It's about looking inside and realizing the abundance you already have. 10. Live with purpose and intention. Living with purpose is one of the most powerful ways to ensure you're making progress toward the life you truly want. So often, we get swept up in the daily grind, going through the motions, tackling tasks without really considering why we're doing them or where they're leading. We spend so much time just trying to survive the day that we forget to ask ourselves if we're actually building the life we desire. What if, instead, every action you took was deliberate, rooted in your values, and aligned with the future you want to create? That's what it means to live with purpose, and it's something we can all start doing today. When you live intentionally, you start to approach life differently. Each decision you make becomes a building block toward the person you want to become. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment or for things to magically fall into place. It's about taking ownership of your life and deciding every single day that you're going to make choices that reflect your deepest desires and values. This doesn't mean you won't face challenges or setbacks. Of course you will, but when you live with purpose, you're more equipped to handle those obstacles because you know why you're pushing forward. You're clear about your goals, and that clarity provides the focus and strength you need to keep moving, no matter what comes your way. Too often, we get distracted by things that don't really matter. We get caught up in activities that fill up time but don't contribute to our long-term goals. Whether it's mindlessly scrolling through social media, engaging in unnecessary drama, or staying in unhealthy patterns, distractions are everywhere. But here's the truth. Every minute you spend on something that doesn't align with your values is a minute you're not investing in your future. To live with purpose, you have to be intentional about where you focus your energy. It's about asking yourself, is this choice moving me closer to my goals, or is it just filling time? When you start asking yourself that question, you'll quickly see how much time you've been wasting on things that aren't serving your greater vision. Living with purpose doesn't mean you have to have everything figured out. You don't need to have a detailed step-by-step plan for every part of your life, but it does mean being clear about what truly matters to you. What are the things that bring you joy? What values do you want to embody? What's the impact you want to have on the world? These are the questions that can guide you as you begin to live with intention. When you know what matters most, your choices become easier. You start to say no to the distractions, the things that don't serve your vision, and you start saying yes to the things that move you forward. Every day, you're shaping the future you want. When you take the time to look within, to reflect on your values and desires, you can begin to align your life with what truly matters. Living with purpose requires a deep level of self-awareness. It's not about comparing yourself to others or trying to keep up with the expectations placed on you by society. It's about getting clear on what you want, regardless of what anyone else thinks. The more you look inside, the more your path will come into focus. And when you live in alignment with that vision, every action you take will have meaning and direction. Living intentionally also helps you stay grounded. When you're clear on your purpose, it's easier to stay focused even when life throws challenges your way. Instead of getting caught up in stress, worry, or confusion, you can remind yourself of your goals and why they matter. When you live with purpose, setbacks feel less like roadblocks and more like lessons. You know where you're going, and nothing can stop you from getting there. It's not about having an easy ride. It's about knowing why you're on the journey in the first place. You don't need to wait for everything to be perfect in order to live with purpose. Sometimes we put off making intentional choices because we think we need to have everything figured out first. But the truth is, purpose isn't about waiting for the stars to align. It's about starting right where you are. Even if you don't have all the answers, you can begin making small, intentional choices today. The more you practice living with purpose, the clearer your path will become. Each choice you make, no matter how small, is a step toward the life you want. In fact, The simple act of living with purpose every day will lead to greater clarity. You'll start to see patterns in your life, understand where you're making progress, and identify areas that need more attention. It's about living with intention in every area: your career, your relationships, your health, your passions. When every part of your life aligns with your values and goals, you create a sense of wholeness that carries you through even the toughest times. Living with purpose isn't about achieving perfection. It's about consistent, intentional action toward the life you want to build. As you move forward, remember, the life you want is already within your reach. Every choice you make today is shaping the person you'll become tomorrow. So take a deep breath, live with purpose, and trust in the journey. If you're ready to dive deeper into the Stoic way of life, check out one of the videos on the screen now. And as always, thank you for being a part of Stoic Journal. Together, let's keep learning, growing, and living with intention. See you in the next one. What if I told you that most of us aren't actually living? We're just moving through life out of alignment with who we could be. Every day we're handed chances to grow, to rise, to build a life with purpose. Yet most people let those moments slip away. We stay distracted, we react to chaos, and before we know it, another day is gone, wasted on everything except what truly matters. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The life you're living right now is the sum of your choices, or the choices you refuse to make, and that realization burns. That moment when you realize you could change, but haven't. The Stoics understood this. Marcus Aurelius wrote that the obstacle becomes the way, meaning the challenges you avoid are the very things that would transform you if only you face them. So let me ask you, what are you waiting for? Are you ready to stop hiding from your potential? Because today, we're diving deep into how to take ownership of your life, your mindset, and your future. If you're ready to confront uncomfortable truths and start making real changes, subscribe. Not for me, for you. It's a promise to step into your own growth, your own meaning, your own power. Let's grow together. 1. I am capable. Every morning we wake up, the world is already waiting for us, demanding our attention, pulling us in 1,000 directions. It's easy to get overwhelmed, to feel like the challenges ahead are too big to tackle. But before you let the weight of the day dictate your mood, take a moment and tell yourself, I am capable. It's a simple statement, but one that holds immense power. When you affirm that you have the strength to face whatever comes your way, you're grounding yourself in your own resilience. Life throws curveballs, we know that. But every time we get hit, we have a choice, to crumble or to rise. Marcus Aurelius once said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This isn't just a motivational quote, it's a way of life. The obstacles you face, they're not just there to break you down, they're there to help you grow, to show you what you're really capable of. So before you let doubt creep in, remind yourself, I am capable. You've faced tough situations before, and you've survived. The strength you need to overcome today's challenges is already within you. It's not arrogance, it's the recognition of your own power. When you wake up, the first thing you do should not be checking your phone or worrying about the day ahead. Instead, start by acknowledging your own strength. I am capable. These words are more than just an affirmation. They are the foundation of your success. No matter how big or small the task, affirming your capability helps you approach each situation with confidence. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking we need to have everything figured out. But the truth is, most of life is a series of trial and error. We learn as we go, And part of that learning comes from believing that we have the capacity to navigate uncertainty. Every challenge you encounter is an opportunity to prove to yourself that you have what it takes. So, when life asks something of you, don't hesitate to say, "I am capable." When you affirm that you are capable, you open yourself up to possibility. The world might not always be fair, and things might not always go your way, but your mindset will be your greatest asset. The ability to remain focused, to stay calm in the face of adversity, and to keep moving forward, that's what being capable is all about. There will be days when you feel unsure of yourself, when doubt tries to take hold. But remember this, you have been through hard times before. You've faced challenges that seemed impossible, and yet here you are. This is the power of affirming your own strength. Every time you repeat those words, "I am capable," you're reminding yourself of your own resilience. The journey to success is never linear. There will be setbacks, but every setback is just a lesson in disguise. It's a reminder that you are capable of handling even the toughest situations. Believe in your own abilities and watch how the world responds. When you believe in yourself, others will begin to believe in you too. The energy you project, confidence, calm, and strength, has a ripple effect on everyone you encounter. People will notice your ability to remain steady, to stay focused even when the going gets tough. And the more you practice affirming your capability, the more you will step into your power day after day. So, let today be the start of something new. Let every morning be a reminder of your strength, your resilience, and your unshakable belief in yourself. Tell yourself, "I am capable," and let those words guide you through every challenge that lies ahead. The strength you seek is already within you. It always has been. 2. I shape my reality. How many times have you caught yourself saying, "I can't do that," or "this is too much"? Maybe it's in the middle of a tough situation, or perhaps it's when you're looking at a goal that feels just out of reach. But here's the truth. These thoughts are not only limiting, they're holding you back. The Stoics understood that our perception of the world directly shapes our experience. When you tell yourself, "I shape my reality," you're making a powerful declaration. You are the creator of your story, not just a passenger in it. You have the ability to change how you see the world, and more importantly, how you respond to it. The way you think about challenges can either empower you or drag you down. And the moment you shift your mindset from a passive observer to an active participant, you begin to take back control. Carl Jung once said, "Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside dreams. Who looks inside awakes." This quote is a reminder that the key to shaping your reality lies within you. It's not about changing the world around you first, but about changing the way you see yourself in relation to it. So often, we look at our circumstances and think we're stuck, that we're a product of our environment, or that we have no power over the situation. But in truth, the power to shape your reality starts with one simple shift in perspective, taking responsibility for your responses. You can't always control the external world, but you can control how you perceive it and how you choose to react. Now, don't get me wrong, changing your perception isn't always easy. There will be times when things get tough, and the natural reaction is to throw in the towel. But remember this, the Stoics didn't teach that life would be free of hardship. They taught that hardship was inevitable, but how we respond to it defines us. Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." We imagine the worst, we get lost in our fears, and we let those fears dictate our actions. But the truth is, the worst often never happens, and even when it does, we have the strength to deal with it. Life's challenges may not always be easy, but they are the training ground for resilience and wisdom. When you embrace this idea, you begin to see challenges not as setbacks, but as chances to build your character. Think about the last time you faced a setback. Maybe it was a project that fell through or a relationship that hit a rough patch. How did you react? Did you let it define you, or did you use it to redefine yourself? The beauty of shaping your own reality is that every experience, no matter how difficult, becomes a stepping stone. Every time you get knocked down, you have the choice to get back up and learn from the experience. This shift in mindset doesn't just apply to big life events either. It applies to the little moments, the everyday challenges. Whether it's the frustration of a delayed train or a disagreement with a friend, how you respond can change everything. Instead of letting these moments determine your mood, you can decide to let them teach you something valuable about patience, resilience, or communication. This is the core of Stoic philosophy, learning to focus on what's in our control and letting go of what's not. It's not about denying your feelings or pretending everything is fine. It's about accepting reality as it is, but refusing to let it dictate your emotional state. By choosing how you respond to challenges, you build a mindset that's unshakable, no matter what life throws your way. And as you practice this daily, it becomes second nature. You no longer see obstacles as roadblocks, but as part of the journey toward growth. The more you affirm, "I shape my reality," the more you empower yourself to transform your life. 3. My path is clear. One of the hardest things in life is dealing with uncertainty. You wake up each morning, and as soon as your feet hit the ground, the weight of the day ahead starts pressing down on you. What will happen today? Will you be ready for what's coming? These questions can easily spiral into anxiety, leaving you paralyzed by the fear of the unknown. But here's the truth. Clarity doesn't come from waiting for things to magically fall into place. It doesn't come from having every detail of your life perfectly figured out. No, clarity comes from focusing on what you can control and letting go of the rest. When you affirm that your path is clear, you're making a conscious decision to approach the day with intention. It's about deciding what matters most and focusing on that. You may not know every single step, but you know the direction you want to move in. That's where the clarity comes from. It's a mindset, a choice, and a commitment to making each day meaningful. Think about it like this. If you're constantly looking around, waiting for the perfect moment or the perfect conditions, you'll never move forward. The fog of uncertainty will always linger. But when you choose to act with purpose, when you set clear intentions, that fog starts to clear. You stop waiting for things to fall into place and start creating the path as you walk it. This doesn't mean that everything will go according to plan. Life doesn't work that way, and the Stoics knew this well. But what they also knew is that you can face challenges with a sense of direction, knowing that you've set your course. Your path doesn't need to be free of obstacles to be clear. In fact, obstacles are a natural part of life. But when you remind yourself that your path is clear, you give yourself the strength to face whatever comes your way with resilience. You trust that even when the road gets tough, you have the tools to navigate it. Sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is simply make a decision. It's easy to get stuck in the cycle of overthinking, wondering what the best decision is, what the right move is, and whether you're making a mistake. But here's the reality. Waiting for perfect clarity often leads to inaction. Instead, the Stoic practice is to take action with whatever clarity you have, trusting that the path will reveal itself as you move forward. By choosing to act, even when the outcome is uncertain, you create momentum. You stop being a passive observer in your life and become the active creator of your story. The beauty of this mindset is that it frees you from the need for perfection. You stop stressing over every little detail and instead focus on what truly matters. You remind yourself that it's okay if things don't go as planned, as long as you stay focused on your larger vision. This sense of clarity comes from within, and it's available to you every single day. It's about knowing that, no matter what happens, you're capable of handling it and moving forward with purpose. So, each morning, take a deep breath and remind yourself, my path is clear. When you affirm this, you open the door to new possibilities. You create the clarity you need by setting your intentions and trusting that every step you take, no matter how small, is bringing you closer to where you want to go. With each new day, you're the one who shapes your path, clear, purposeful, and full of possibility. 4. I will focus on what matters. In today's world, it feels like we're constantly bombarded with distractions. Our phones are always buzzing, social media notifications are never-ending, and everyone seems to have a piece of us that they want. It's easy to get caught up in this whirlwind of demands, obligations, and random noise. We find ourselves juggling tasks, reacting to everything around us, and before we know it, the day is gone, and we're left wondering if we actually accomplished anything meaningful. Success doesn't come from doing everything, though. It doesn't come from being busy. Success comes from knowing what truly matters and focusing all your energy on those things. In a world that's always pulling you in a million different directions, choosing to focus on what really matters is a radical act of self-discipline. Every morning, start your day by telling yourself, I will focus on what matters. It's a small affirmation, but it holds so much power. When you make this declaration, you're not just setting a vague intention, you're making a conscious choice to direct your time and energy toward the things that align with your core values. Think about it. How often do you feel overwhelmed by a never-ending to-do list that doesn't actually move you forward? The world is full of things that demand your attention, but most of them are distractions. In fact, they pull you away from the things that are truly meaningful. Carl Jung once said, "The privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are." And that's exactly what happens when you focus on what matters. You stop wasting energy on things that don't align with your true self, and you start dedicating yourself to what helps you grow, thrive, and live with purpose. When you start each day with the mindset of focusing on what matters, you begin to block out the noise. This doesn't mean you ignore everything else or become blind to your responsibilities. It means you learn how to prioritize. Imagine you have a limited amount of energy each day. Would you rather spend it on tasks that don't move you forward? Or would you rather invest it in the things that will shape your future? It's not always easy. Life is full of urgent demands. But the truth is, being busy isn't the same as being productive. It's easy to confuse the two. You can be busy all day and still feel like you didn't accomplish anything. The trick is in learning how to say no to the things that don't align with your priorities, and yes to the things that bring you closer to your goals. This is a lesson that the Stoics knew well. They believed in focusing on what is within our control and letting go of the rest. It's a principle that frees us from the stress of trying to manage everything at once. Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Time is our most valuable resource, and it's easy to squander it if we don't consciously choose where to direct our attention. By focusing on what matters, you take back control of your time. You stop letting the world dictate how you spend your days, and you start living intentionally with purpose and clarity. The beauty of this mindset is that it shifts your perspective. Instead of getting caught up in the hustle and bustle of life, you learn to slow down and prioritize what truly brings you fulfillment. It's about choosing your battles. Not every task Not every person, not every demand is worthy of your time. When you focus on what matters, you can say no to distractions without guilt. You can protect your energy and put it toward the things that will create lasting value in your life. Whether it's a long-term project, meaningful conversations with loved ones, or taking care of your health, these are the things that move the needle in your life. These are the things that help you grow and become the person you want to be. 5. I choose courage over comfort. Let's talk about comfort for a minute. We all love it, right? Who doesn't enjoy that feeling of being at ease, in control, and safe? But here's the thing. Growth doesn't happen in comfort. It happens when you step outside of what feels familiar, when you push past the boundaries you've set for yourself. And while that may sound like a daunting thought, it's also incredibly empowering. Growth isn't just about achieving success when things are easy. It's about learning to thrive when you're uncomfortable, when you're uncertain, and when you're stepping into uncharted territory. That's where the magic happens. The Stoics understood this better than anyone. They didn't just embrace discomfort, they actively sought it out as a means of building strength. They knew that without challenge, there could be no growth. The obstacles they encountered, the discomfort they faced, were not things to avoid. They were things to lean into, to learn from, and to transform into sources of power. So when you wake up in the morning, remind yourself, I choose courage over comfort. This is more than just a motivational phrase. It's a mindset that can radically change the way you approach life. Think about the last time you faced something difficult. Maybe it was a tough conversation, a project you were hesitant to take on, or a decision that pushed you outside of your usual routine. How did you respond? Did you retreat into the comfort of the familiar, or did you step up and face the challenge head-on? Stepping outside of your comfort zone isn't about being fearless. It's about choosing to act despite the fear, to move forward even when uncertainty looms large. When you choose courage over comfort, you make a conscious decision to face the discomfort, knowing that it's in these moments that your true growth happens. We often hold ourselves back because we're afraid of failing or of making mistakes. But here's the thing, every great achievement, every piece of progress is built on a foundation of failure and learning. If you're not failing, you're probably not pushing yourself hard enough. The discomfort you feel is a sign that you're stretching yourself, that you're expanding beyond your current limits. That's exactly where the growth is. It's easy to stay in your comfort zone, to stick with what you know. But the problem with that is you don't grow, you don't evolve. Staying in your bubble might feel safe, but it keeps you stagnant. So how do you choose courage over comfort? Start by embracing the discomfort you feel when you're faced with a challenge. Instead of shrinking back or procrastinating, lean into it. Remind yourself that you're doing it for a reason, that growth is on the other side of discomfort. This isn't about ignoring fear. It's about acknowledging it and deciding to act in spite of it. Each time you choose courage, you build resilience. Each time you face discomfort, you become stronger, wiser, and more capable. It's also important to remember that courage isn't about taking huge risks or making dramatic leaps all at once. Sometimes it's about small, incremental steps outside of your comfort zone. It's saying yes to a new opportunity even though you're unsure of the outcome. It's having that difficult conversation instead of avoiding it. It's trying something new even if it scares you. Each small act of courage compounds over time, creating a powerful shift in how you view the world and your ability to navigate it. Every day offers you opportunities to choose courage over comfort. Whether it's in your personal life or your professional life, you have the ability to decide how you want to respond. You can either stay in the safe, predictable place, or you can step up, face the discomfort, and learn from the experience. The more you practice this mindset, the more natural it becomes, and eventually you'll look back and realize that the challenges you once feared were the very things that shaped you into the person you are today. 6. I am grateful for this moment. Gratitude is often treated as just another feel-good word that people throw around, but it's much more than that. It's a powerful tool that can reshape how you experience the world. How often do you wake up and immediately start thinking about what's missing? Maybe it's a big project hanging over your head, an argument that's unresolved, or 1,000 little worries nagging at you. It's easy to get stuck in that mindset of, I don't have enough, or this isn't how I want things to be. But imagine if, instead of focusing on what's wrong, you chose to start your day with appreciation. What if you woke up and said, I am grateful for this moment? It's a simple phrase, but it can completely change your outlook on the day ahead. When you start your day with gratitude, you're making a conscious decision to shift your perspective. Rather than dwelling on what's missing, you focus on what you have. And the truth is, there's always something to be grateful for, even when things aren't perfect. Life is rarely without its challenges, and sometimes it feels like we're just treading water. But if you look closely, you'll see the small things that bring you joy, peace, and fulfillment. Maybe it's the warmth of your coffee in the morning, or the sound of birds outside your window. Maybe it's the fact that you have the chance to start fresh today, that you have the strength to face whatever comes your way. When you say, I am grateful for this moment, you're grounding yourself in the present, in what you have rather than what you lack. Gratitude pulls you out of the habit of complaining. It's so easy to slip into a mindset of focusing on what's wrong, but what if you chose to shift your focus instead? When you focus on the positive aspects of your life, no matter how small they seem, you start to see abundance instead of lack. It's a subtle but powerful shift. You start noticing the little blessings, the moments of peace, the people who support you, the progress you're making, even if it's small. As Carl Jung once said, what you resist persists. What you accept transforms. When you resist gratitude, when you focus only on what's wrong, it feels like those problems multiply. But when you accept the good, no matter how tiny it might seem, you transform your perspective and start to see the richness in your life. The more you practice gratitude, the more it becomes a habit. You stop waiting for something big to happen to feel thankful. Instead, you start seeing the value in the everyday moments. This simple practice can bring a profound shift in how you experience life. It makes you present, aware of the little joys that often go unnoticed. It shifts your attention away from negativity and brings you back to what matters most. Instead of chasing after more, gratitude teaches you to appreciate what you already have. It's not about settling for less. It's about being fully present and content with what is. Ultimately, gratitude transforms your life by changing how you view the world. It helps you see opportunities instead of obstacles, joy instead of frustration, peace instead of chaos. When you say, I am grateful for this moment, you are affirming that you are exactly where you need to be and that everything you have in your life is worth celebrating. The power of gratitude is in its simplicity. It's a daily reminder that, no matter the circumstances, there is always something to be thankful for. And when you live with that mindset, you carry a sense of peace with you through even the most challenging days. So, start your day with gratitude and see how it shifts your entire perspective. Every moment holds the potential for gratitude. All it takes is the decision to notice it. 7. I will seek wisdom. In life, we're always faced with decisions, some small, others that can feel monumental. And while we can't always control the outcome of those decisions, we can control how we approach them. Every day we make choices that shape our lives, whether it's how we respond to challenges, who we spend our time with, or even the way we talk to ourselves. But how often do we stop to consider the deeper wisdom behind those choices? Often we rush through decisions, acting on impulse or relying on what feels most comfortable in the moment. Yet, the truth is, wisdom doesn't come from acting without thought. It comes from taking the time to reflect, to gather insights, and to learn from every experience, big or small. By telling yourself, "I will seek wisdom," you're committing to approach each decision with intention. You're choosing to pause and ask yourself, "What can I learn from this?" instead of simply reacting. This isn't just about having all the answers. It's about being willing to dig deeper, to be curious, and to stay humble in the face of uncertainty. Epictetus taught that true wisdom comes from the ability to understand what we can control and what we cannot. He once said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." This philosophy highlights the importance of understanding what truly matters in life. Wisdom, according to the Stoics, isn't about accumulating things or achievements. It's about aligning your decisions with your values and recognizing that simplicity, clarity, and mindfulness lead to a more fulfilled existence. When you commit to seeking wisdom, you're not just focusing on the big moments, you're learning from everything around you. It's easy to get caught up in the rush of life, to focus only on the next task or the next problem that needs solving. But wisdom comes from reflecting on each experience, no matter how trivial it may seem. When you actively seek to learn, you begin to see life as a teacher, and every situation, whether it's a victory or a failure, becomes an opportunity for growth. This mindset shift transforms challenges into lessons, setbacks into stepping stones, and it encourages you to approach every decision with the awareness that you can always improve. It's not about getting everything right, it's about getting better with every step you take. There's a deep humility that comes with seeking wisdom. It's the recognition that no matter how much we know, there's always more to learn. It's understanding that life is a constant process of evolution. As you face challenges, you not only learn about the world, but also about yourself. The more you seek wisdom, the more you uncover your own values, your strengths, and your weaknesses. This self-awareness is the foundation for making decisions that are aligned with your true self. Every day is an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to become a wiser version of yourself. Wisdom doesn't just come from books or formal teachings. It comes from the way you live your life. It comes from how you respond to challenges, how you interact with others, and how you handle the ups and downs of your own journey. By choosing to seek wisdom, you create a mindset of continuous growth and self-improvement. You stop seeing life as a series of obstacles and start seeing it as a constant flow of lessons and opportunities to deepen your understanding. In the end, wisdom is the key to living a life that's truly aligned with your values. It helps you make decisions that are not only practical, but meaningful. It guides you in your relationships, your career, and your personal growth. So, every time you face a decision, big or small, ask yourself, how can I apply wisdom here? Remember, wisdom isn't about knowing everything. It's about knowing enough to keep learning, to keep growing, and to keep improving. It's a lifelong journey, and the more you commit to it, the more fulfilled and aligned with your true self you'll become. 8. I control my reactions. Life is unpredictable. One moment everything seems fine, and the next you're hit with a setback. A project falls through, a friend disappoints you, or things just don't go the way you planned. It can be frustrating, to say the least. We often find ourselves wishing we could control the events around us, the actions of others, or the outcome of every situation. But here's the harsh truth. We can't. Life will throw curveballs, and we'll face challenges that are completely out of our control. However, what we can control is how we respond. That's where our power lies. The Stoics understood this deeply. They believed that our peace of mind comes not from controlling external events, but from mastering our reactions to them. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." This idea is at the heart of Stoic philosophy. We can't always dictate what happens to us, but we always have the ability to choose how we react. Every time you affirm, "I control my reactions," you're reminding yourself that, despite the chaos around you, your inner world remains under your control. It's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of life, to let stress, frustration, or anger take over. But when you take a step back and remember that you control your reactions, you regain your sense of power. This is not just about controlling your emotions. It's about taking responsibility for how you engage with the world. Every situation, no matter how difficult, offers you a choice. You can choose to react with frustration, with anxiety, or with resentment. Or you can choose to respond with patience, understanding, and wisdom. The real power comes when you realize that you hold the reins of your reactions. Life will never be perfect, and people will continue to disappoint you. But your peace of mind doesn't have to be contingent on those external factors. The moment you acknowledge that you can control how you react, you free yourself from the grip of the outside world. Stress, anxiety, disappointment, they're all part of life, but they don't have to rule your life. Stoicism teaches us that peace of mind doesn't come from avoiding these emotions, but from learning how to manage them. When life tests you, and it will, remember, you decide how you respond. You choose whether to let stress overwhelm you or whether to stay grounded in the knowledge that you control your reaction. It's not always easy, and it's not always instant. But with practice, you can build the habit of responding with intention rather than reacting on autopilot. The more you practice this mindset, the more natural it becomes. Over time, you'll find that you're able to stay calm in situations that would have previously caused you to lose your temper or feel anxious. You'll learn to rise above setbacks, to face challenges with a sense of inner strength, and to approach life with a clear mind. By taking control of your reactions, you stop being a victim of circumstances and start being the master of your experience. This doesn't mean that life won't still throw difficult situations your way. It doesn't mean that you won't feel frustration, anger, or sadness. But it does mean that, in those moments, you can choose to remain composed. You can choose to respond in a way that aligns with your values, that helps you grow, and that preserves your peace of mind. It's about remembering that your true strength lies not in controlling the world around you, but in controlling how you navigate it. 9. I am designed for greatness. You weren't made for mediocrity. You weren't designed to simply get by, to live a life of ordinary existence. No, you were made for greatness. And every morning, when you tell yourself, "I am designed for greatness," you're reminding yourself of your potential. You're setting the tone for your day, for your choices, and for how you show up in the world. It's not about ego. It's not about arrogance. It's about deeply understanding that you have something extraordinary within you and that you were meant to contribute something meaningful to the world. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This quote speaks to the heart of what greatness is all about: action. Greatness isn't about dreaming of what you could do. It's about stepping into who you are and living that truth every day. When you wake up each morning with the belief that you are designed for greatness, it changes everything. You begin to see yourself as someone with a purpose, someone with the power to make a difference. You don't just go through the motions of life. You engage with it. You show up with intention, knowing that every moment is an opportunity to live out your true potential. Whether it's your creativity, your work ethic, your ability to inspire others, or your capacity to rise above challenges, greatness isn't just something that exists in the distant future. It's your reality. It's in the way you approach your day, in the decisions you make, and in the way you carry yourself. Living with the mindset that you are designed for greatness isn't about expecting perfection or having all the answers. It's about understanding that greatness comes from consistent effort, from doing the work even when no one is watching, and from choosing to show up even when things get hard. It's about embracing the challenges because you know they're part of the journey. You were designed for greatness, but that doesn't mean you don't have to work for it. Greatness is not about waiting for an opportunity to fall into your lap or hoping that one day things will magically change. It's about consistently showing up and doing what it takes to bring your best self to the world. Whether it's in your career, your personal relationships, or your own self-development, greatness is a reflection of your effort and your belief in yourself. It's about stepping into the person you were meant to be, even when that path isn't always clear. One of the most powerful aspects of believing in your own greatness is the impact it has on those around you. When you embrace your own potential, you inspire others to do the same. Your belief in yourself doesn't just affect your life, it ripples outward, influencing the people you interact with. You begin to lead by example, showing others what's possible when you choose to step into your true potential. Greatness isn't a solitary pursuit, it's something that has the power to lift others up along with you. So as you move through your day, remind yourself that you are designed for greatness. Every challenge you face, every setback, every moment of doubt, it's all part of the journey toward realizing your potential. Don't let fear or insecurity hold you back from stepping into the greatness that's already within you. You were designed for something bigger than just getting by. You were designed to live with purpose, to contribute to the world, and to make a difference. And that starts with the belief that you are meant for greatness. Not tomorrow, but right now, today. So go ahead, embrace your potential, and watch as your reality begins to reflect the greatness you've always known you were capable of. 10. My mind is my fortress. Your mind is where every battle is fought. The challenges you face, the temptations you encounter, and the opportunities that arise, everything starts and ends in your thoughts. When you affirm, "My mind is my fortress," you're making a conscious choice to guard your mental space. In a world that's constantly trying to pull you in a million different directions, it's easy to let negativity, stress, and doubt seep in. But what if you chose to protect your peace, to stay focused, and to refuse to let anything shake your inner calm? This is the power of a strong mind. It's not about avoiding challenges, it's about fortifying your mental resilience so that you can handle whatever life throws your way. When you embrace the idea that your mind is your fortress, you stop allowing external events or other people's negativity to penetrate your peace. You create boundaries around your mental space, protecting it from anything that threatens to disrupt your sense of calm. The world can be chaotic, but your inner world doesn't have to be. This doesn't mean shutting out all emotions or pretending everything is perfect. It means acknowledging the challenges you face, accepting them, and then choosing to act in a way that aligns with your values and your goals. It's about building resilience so that no matter what happens around you, your mind remains steady. The more you practice this mindset, the easier it becomes to maintain your peace, even in the most difficult situations. When you focus on what you can control, your thoughts, your reactions, your perspective, You stop letting the external world dictate your emotional state. You begin to realize that you have the power to decide how you feel, how you respond, and how you navigate the challenges that come your way. This is the true power of your mind. It's not just about avoiding negativity, it's about strengthening your mental resilience so that you can face life's obstacles with clarity, focus, and purpose. One of the most important aspects of creating a mental fortress is learning to protect your focus. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. We're constantly bombarded with messages, notifications, and demands on our time. It's easy to get caught up in the noise, to let the chaos of the outside world pull you off course. But when you choose to guard your mind, you prioritize what truly matters. You learn to stay focused on your goals, on your values, and on the things that bring you peace. This doesn't mean blocking out the world entirely. It means learning to tune out the distractions that don't serve your well-being, so you can give your attention to what truly counts. Your mind is where your greatest power lies. When you strengthen it, you empower yourself to handle any situation with grace and resilience. Whether it's dealing with stress, overcoming setbacks, or simply staying focused in a world that constantly demands your attention, the key to success is learning how to guard your mental space. This isn't about being perfect or never feeling negative emotions. It's about training your mind to stay grounded, even when the world around you is in turmoil. The more you reinforce your mental fortress, the stronger you become. You realize that no matter what happens outside of you, your peace, your clarity, and your sense of control are yours to protect. 11. I choose to be present. So often we find ourselves caught between the past and the future. We replay old mistakes or replay conversations we wish we'd had differently, or we worry about what's coming next, the tasks, the deadlines, the unknowns that loom ahead. It's easy to get stuck in this cycle of overthinking, missing out on the richness of the present moment. But here's the truth. Life isn't happening in the past or the future. It's happening right now, in this very moment. The present is where life unfolds, and yet it's so easy to let it slip by unnoticed. When you wake up and say to yourself, "I choose to be present," you're making a commitment to show up for today. It's not about ignoring your past or abandoning your future. It's about understanding that you can only control the now. You can't change what happened yesterday, and you can't predict what will happen tomorrow. But you do have control over what you do in this very moment. The beauty of being present is that it allows you to appreciate what's right in front of you. When we're stuck in the past or constantly planning for the future, we forget to enjoy the present. We let life pass us by, waiting for something bigger or better. But the truth is, the present moment is all we ever truly have. Life is happening right now, and the more you can ground yourself in the present, the more you'll realize just how much you've been missing out on. Every experience, whether big or small, is a chance to fully engage, to be present, and to appreciate what's happening in the moment. When you choose to be present, you also start to see the world around you with more clarity. Your mind isn't cluttered with worries or regrets. It's focused on what's before you. And in that focus, you begin to find peace. The more you practice being in the moment, the easier it becomes to let go of the distractions that once pulled you away. You start to realize that most of our stress comes from either dwelling on the past or fearing the future. But when you are fully present, you stop stressing about what's out of your control and start embracing the peace that comes with the now. There's another powerful benefit to being present. It allows you to truly connect with others. When you're present, you're really listening, really engaging with the people around you. You're not just waiting for your turn to speak, you're actively participating in the conversation, in the moment. How often do we let our relationships slip into autopilot because we're not fully there? Being present with others deepens your connection, whether it's with a friend, a partner, or even a stranger. It shows respect, care, and genuine interest in the people in your life. Life is full of distractions, and it's easy to get caught up in the noise. But when you consciously decide to choose presence over distraction, you open the door to a richer, more meaningful existence. You become more attuned to the beauty in the small moments and more in touch with the world around you. This simple act of choosing to be present can transform your daily experience. You stop rushing through life and start living it, moment by moment. And in that space, you'll find the depth and richness that often goes unnoticed in the hustle and bustle. 12. I am in control of my journey. Life has a way of throwing us curveballs. Sometimes it feels like you're cruising along, and suddenly you hit a detour. A change in direction, an unexpected challenge, or an event that catches you off guard. It's easy to feel like you're just along for the ride, being tossed around by circumstances. But here's the truth. You are the driver of your own life. Yes, life will hand you twists, turns, and detours, but it's ultimately your choices, your actions, and your mindset that determine the direction you go. When you affirm to yourself, I am in control of my journey, you are claiming ownership of your path. You stop letting life happen to you and start taking the wheel. We often feel like we don't have control over what happens in life. And in many ways, that's true. You can't control the actions of others, you can't predict the future, and you certainly can't avoid all the bumps along the way. But what you can control is how you respond. That's where your power lies. Carl Jung once said, I am not what happened to me, I am what I choose to become. This speaks to the heart of personal responsibility. It's not the events in your life that define you, it's how you choose to react to those events. Every choice you make, no matter how small, steers the course of your journey. By taking ownership of your decisions and actions, you reclaim the power to shape your life. Too often we let the circumstances around us dictate how we feel and how we act. We let fear, doubt, or outside pressures steer us off course. But when you remind yourself that you're in control, you can stop being a passive participant in your own life. Instead of waiting for life to happen to you, you start making choices that align with your values, your goals, and your true self. It's not always easy, and it's certainly not always comfortable, but the moment you take responsibility for your journey, you become the author of your own story. Taking ownership of your journey also means embracing the fact that you're in charge of your decisions. No one else is responsible for your life but you. That's both empowering and daunting, but ultimately, it's the most liberating truth. You're the one who decides what you prioritize, what you value, and what path you take. Even if the world tries to push you in a certain direction, you have the ability to choose your own path. This isn't about perfection or always having the right answer. It's about accepting that you are responsible for the direction you choose and owning it, no matter the outcome. It's easy to fall into the trap of blaming others or external circumstances for where we are in life. But when you take full ownership of your journey, you free yourself from that mindset. You stop waiting for things to be different, for the world to change, or for someone else to fix things. Instead, you step up and take control. You recognize that you have the power to move forward, to make adjustments, and to create the life you want, one choice at a time. It's not always a straight line, and there will be obstacles along the way, but each step you take with intention brings you closer to where you want to be. The key to embracing this mindset is recognizing that every decision, no matter how small, matters. Every time you choose to show up for yourself, to take responsibility for your actions, to take a step toward your goals, you are steering your journey. Life isn't just something that happens to you, it's something you create, moment by moment. Every setback is an opportunity to learn. Every challenge is a chance to grow, and every success is a result of your commitment to your path. Next time you feel like life is getting out of hand, remember, I am in control of my journey. You are not just a passenger, you are the driver. You decide the course, you take the wheel, and you move forward with purpose. It's your life, your choices, and your path to walk. The journey may not always be easy, but when you embrace your role as the creator of your own experience, you realize that you have the power to shape your future, one decision at a time. Remember, you are the driver of your own journey. Life may throw obstacles your way, but how you respond, how you navigate, and how you choose to move forward is entirely up to you. So, take control, embrace your path, and step into the greatness that awaits. Thank you for being part of the Stoic Journal. If you found value in today's video, make sure to check out one of the suggested videos on the screen and continue your journey of growth and self-discovery. Stay strong, stay present, and as always, keep striving for wisdom. See you in the next video.